Greetings, pioneering, bold, first out the gate, Aries. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot card reader, and now I'm going to do the December 2020 forecast for the sign Aries, and I'm going to start with a tarot reading in the first half of the video, and in the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about broad strokes, some of the planetary transits in December 2020. And follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole, where I will continue the conversation about what's going on in the sky in more detail as the transits unfold. But I like to do these videos as a broad overview. And to get the best idea, watch the videos for your sun and rising sign. If you don't know your rising, contact me for a reading, and I can let you know where all of your planets are. So as we enter the month of December, Aries, we see the King of Swords. So this is a man, and it looks like he's a very honest and forthright man. And he is a master at what he does, perhaps. He may be a man of business. And we are covered by the Three of Cups. So this is time with friends, good times with friends. And crossed by the Eight of Wands, forward movement, progress, action, activity. The basis of the situation, King of Cups reverse. So this is having to do with a male romantic figure who is somehow out of alignment. He could be, there's a number of ways that could manifest. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with all the ways, but you get the picture. What's leaving is the Eight of Swords reversed, a time of becoming liberated. What could come into being. Around mid-month, we see a woman who is out of alignment romantically, perhaps. Maybe her feelings are hurt. Maybe she's falling out of love. Maybe she's obsessing about something. What will come into being? The Ace of Wands reverse. So this has to do with a delay in a new start. Fears or insecurities, the Six of Cups. So this has to do with a friendship or an intimate relationship of some kind. Others see you, the Emperor reverse. So this could be meaning that you are having issues with a male authority figure. This could be a landlord, a boss, a husband, the patriarchy in general. Positive feelings, the Ten of Cups reversed. So this has to do with a family upset that's happening around the end of the month, yet you seem to have very positive feelings about it. And then the outcome is the Two of Swords reversed. So someone is going to be revealing themselves to you at the end of December, almost at the new year. Probably under the Cancer full moon of the 30th or the 29th of December. So that's the tarot overview for Aries for the month of December. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the planets. So again, this is the broad strokes, and the way that you get the most out of the planets is to have your own chart done and work one-on-one with an astrologer. And it's a very enlightening experience. It's a wonderful tool for self-awareness. But in the meantime, I love astrology. I love sharing it with you. And so now I'm going to do an overview of some of the planetary movements for Aries in the month of December 2020. And it's a lot of information to remember, but I'm going to share, as much as I can with you right now, particularly about the houses. So this really applies to the Aries rising personality. And if you have an Aries sun, this is still going to apply because of the derivative house method with your sun. However, these will be more the secondary themes that are taking place and tertiary themes also in some cases. And you're going to find the predominant themes of your month with your rising sign, because those houses are really going to hit home for you probably. Anyway, as we enter the month, Mercury is moving into Sagittarius, and Mercury has been, dancing around in Scorpio for a while. Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is the planet of how we think and how we speak and how we write and how we listen. It's the planet of our intellect. Mercury in Sagittarius is in its detriment, according to ancient astrologers, which can be a misleading word. I think it can sound kind of dramatic, so don't be scared about that. I don't think all detriments are created equally, actually. The only reason that Mercury might be considered in its detriment in Sagittarius is because Mercury is about like data and details and organizing, a lot of small parts. And Sagittarius is more big picture. And so there's a little bit of opposing energy. So perhaps while Mercury is in Sagittarius, it's not going to be the best time for detail-oriented tasks, but it's a great time for big picture kind of thinking and kind of vision, long-range vision type of thinking. And, Mercury is going into a fire sign, so I think in general people are going to be more talkative. Sometimes Mercury in Sagittarius can be given to pontification. I think it's a philosophical placement of Mercury. It's optimistic, it's faithful, and it can be religious or dogmatic in thought. But yeah, Mercury will be traveling in Sagittarius until December 20th. December 5th, Venus in Scorpio is making a trine with Neptune. This is a very beautiful and dreamy aspect. I encourage you to follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole and watch my stories where I'm going to be doing daily updates about the transits and giving more details in real time. December 7th, Pallas is moving into Aquarius, and Pallas moving into Aquarius, oh, by the way, Aries, the whole thing I meant to tell you, as Mercury moves into Sagittarius, it will be moving into your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of religion and spirituality and higher truth. So this Sagittarius Mercury, it's also trine your sun. And so it's very philosophical, it's very faithful, it's very optimistic. And so this is going to be a nice run for you while Mercury is in Sagittarius, December 1st through December 20th. December 5th, the aspect between Venus trine Neptune, I will let you know that it is bringing together your 8th house of sex and death and rebirth and regeneration and transformation with your 12th house, which is also a very dark and mysterious house. So anyway, I'm going to move on. Pallas Athene is moving into Aquarius. That's going into your house of friends. And so you may be strategizing about some future endeavors with friends during this time that Pallas Athene is in Aquarius. In general, this aspect for the collective is about, vision for the future and being able to see into the future and strategize and implement really progressive plans and make advancements in science and things like this. During the time Pallas Athene is traveling in Aquarius, it's a really exciting time for the collective. Pallas Athene was with that Capricorn cluster. She was with Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto for all those months. They were retrograde in the middle of 2020, and they were making plans. And Pallas Athene was the first one to go direct and kind of make the first move. And so now she's stepping into Aquarius first as well with a vision for the future, strategy and vision. And it's an exciting time. You know, she's like, it's like we're stepping into this Aquarian era. And December 10th, Venus is sextile Pluto, another really kind of sexy and intense Venus-Pluto aspect, which will be bringing together your 8th house with your 10th house of work and career. So I'm not going to get into the details of that here, but again, this is follow me on Instagram to get more details about that. And December 14th is the new moon and total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Again, Sagittarius is trine Aries. This is a very harmonious flow of energy. And so this is going to be a very inspired new moon for Aries. And this is going to be a new moon where you are setting intentions for the future. And it's a really powerful new moon for you to kind of like, you know, set your aim at whatever target you want to hit, and you are going to hit it. So do a new moon ritual. If you want to be on my new moon altar, contact me. That is a service that I provide, rituals and spells and new moon magic. But you can also do your own ritual. And this new moon is ruled by Jupiter, and so you should definitely look at where your Jupiter is in your chart to get more information about how to work with the magic of this new moon, or again, it's something I can help you with if you're interested in it. But in general, you know, Jupiter in the sky is in Capricorn, where Jupiter is the planet of benevolence and grace and good fortune. Capricorn, it's in its detriment. But at this solar eclipse, it's forming a sextile with Venus, and Venus and Jupiter are both of the benefics. So there's a lot of love and grace and good fortune here. However, Venus is in her detriment, and Jupiter also. So there's a sense of, during this solar eclipse, we're really, you know, after a very tough year, we're at a point where we're taking everything that we've gathered and we're really making the best out of maybe what didn't seem or doesn't appear to be the greatest of circumstances. However, it is very fertile ground. You have Jupiter in Capricorn and Venus in Scorpio. So that's water and earth. It's a very fertile ground to manifest, to take what we've learned and manifest what we want, grow a new garden for the future. And so I'm excited about this new moon and total solar eclipse on the 14th. And it's also when the Electoral College is announcing the presidency and things like that. So it's a very powerful turning point time for all of us at this eclipse. And December 15th, Venus moves into Sagittarius. And Venus in Sagittarius is it's about it's free love, and it's, again, this is you know, a Jupiter ruled Venus, and we're having this relationship this month between Jupiter and Venus, which is great because this year we've had to deal with the malefics a lot. We've been having to deal with a lot of Mars and Saturn, or, you know, tough stuff. So this month we're getting to deal with Jupiter and Venus energy, which is, it's romantic and expansive and philosophical and, you know, all of these things. And while Venus is in Sagittarius, for relationships, for some people will be wanting to break free for relationships. For relationships that are together, you know, spouses will be creating a new vision for their future together, a new ideal that they want to attain, or something bigger than themselves that they want to aim for in their relationship together. And for people who are single, this is going to be a time where you are doing vision work about what your ideal is in a relationship. So all of that kind of energy will be going on all sides of relationships while Venus is in Sagittarius. December 15th, Chiron goes direct in Aries at 4 degrees. And, Chiron is going to be a major player in 2021, and I think that as he stations direct in Aries right now, we are going to get the foreshadowing of what this is going to be meaning to us in the year of 2021. And Chiron is the wounded healer. And so as Chiron is stationing direct 5 days before and 5 days after, I think we will be feeling very sensitive. We will be feeling very vulnerable. We may be feeling raw or exposed. Old wounds can be stirred up in us some way. And this is going to be an important time for healers. You are going to be able to really provide a service to people during, the 10 days, but also in 2021, there's a bigger picture to that, which I will be talking about when I do my 2021 full year overcast videos, which are coming up next. But in general, in December, this is going to be an important time for healers of all kinds. Whether you're a therapist or a doctor, or you work in some kind of alternative or esoteric healing arts, all the healers are going to be called forth at this time. And people are going to be relying on that. And so there's a service for healers to provide to the community at this time. Because another thing is that the wounded are going to be very stirred at this time. And things are going to be coming up for people. And where this is going in the new year is somewhere else that I'm going to talk about in my next set of videos that are about the 2021 overview. But what I want to say now is that for those who've been hurt, for those who've been victimized, it's going to be coming up now. And I encourage you to, work with therapists, work with healers, seek out alternative forms of healing, use all of your options, make it a quest, make it something that's an interesting adventure to go on a healing journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a lifetime journey. And, but it's a beautiful journey. And so this is going to be coming up mid-December. And then the other thing is that Chiron also represents the afflictor, those that hurt. And those that hurt are often hurters because they have been wounded. And that's not to make excuses for them, but these people, the afflictors, are also going to be triggered at this time. And so there will be people out there who are, hurting other people and wanting to hurt other people right now because they are being triggered in ways that they haven't healed or dealt with yet. And for those people, they need the healers, the therapists, and everything as well. So this energy is important, and I think it's going to be coming more into play in 2021 because we need to heal as a world. We need to heal as a nation. I know as the Black community, we need to heal. There's a lot of healing that needs to go on around, for women as well as around, masculine energy. And so this is something that as a collective, we're going to be taking more seriously because everyone is dealing with it now. December 16th, Saturn moves into Aquarius. Saturn has been in Capricorn for the past 2.5 years, Aries. And before I move on, I want to say that Venus in Sagittarius, as well as the new moon and solar eclipse in Sagittarius, are all happening in your 9th house, Aries. So this is a spiritual time. It's a time where you are going to be just really aligning with your faith and your higher truth. The Chiron is in your first house, Aries. And so for you, this is a time to really heal your deepest wounds. And that is going to be a big theme for you from now until mid 2021, certainly. And then, yes, I want to make those points. Chiron is in your first house, stationing direct. December 16th, Saturn moves into Aquarius. So Saturn has been in Capricorn in your 10th house of career and attainment since the end of 2017. And so there's been a lot there for you. For some, that has manifested with major challenges in your career and frustrations or feeling limits and boundaries and restrictions. For others, you've had to take on a lot more responsibility or step into positions of leadership. Whatever your story was, now a new story is beginning as of Saturn moving into Aquarius, and he is going to be transiting your 11th house of friends, groups, organizations. And so he will be there for the next 2.5 years, starting on December 16th. And so for Aries, for some people, you may be taking on a position of leadership or responsibility in a group of friends or in a group or an organization that you belong to, or like in a team that you're a part of. Another way that this could manifest is just that, yeah, you're getting more responsibilities in terms of dealing with friends or groups or organizations. If it's afflicted, you could be feeling, and by afflicted I mean in your birth chart, if it's angling your personal planets in a challenging way, during the transit at any time, you could be feeling left out, you could be feeling outcast, you could be feeling isolated. And, you know, with Saturn in the 11th house, it could go either of those ways. And I encourage you to get a reading at this time, because anytime a new shift is happening with a planet that's going to be a 2.5 year phase, it's good to look at what you can expect, some of the things to be unfolding in your kind of karmic curriculum for those next 2.5 years, so you can brace yourself to navigate it with grace and self-awareness. That's why I love astrology. And then let's see, December 18th, Juno is moving into Sagittarius. And again, that's in your 9th house, more action in the house of spirituality and religion and higher truth. For those of you who are married, you and your mate may be going on an adventure together at some time. During this transit of Juno and Sagittarius, you guys might be traveling to a foreign country, even though I know that that's not going on so much, or you may be setting your sights on travel and exploration in the year ahead. It's also going to be a time where couples, married couples, are coming together with what their ideal is for the future. So you may be having that moment with your partner. And for those who aren't in a relationship, it could be with like a close family member or whoever the closest intimate relationship is in your life. You guys might be communicating on that philosophical, spiritual, or religious level, or else on an international travel level, something like that. December 19th, Jupiter moves into Aquarius. And Jupiter has been in Capricorn in its detriment for the past year. So when Jupiter moves into Aquarius, this is for the collective. This is just a much better position. Jupiter is happier and more dignified in Aquarius than it was in Capricorn in its detriment. Jupiter is always the planet of grace and good fortune and benevolence. And in Aquarius, it's hopefully in this year, it's going to bring expansion to social systems and to the good of people as a whole, and kind of philosophical constructs and beliefs that are more supporting of equality and alternative lifestyles. And I just think that we're going to see some really like big new innovations in science. Aquarius rules science, but we're also going to see a lot of Aquarius rules progressive ideas. So there's going to be expansion in that probably expansion in social systems that benefit the whole. You know, that's very Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius and all of them kind of coming together, which is the next thing that I was going to say, which is that, well, no, I'm not going to get into the next thing yet. So December 20th, Mercury moves into Capricorn. While Mercury is in Capricorn, this is a time of really practical thinking. This is a time of very realistic thinking. This is a great time to start writing a business plan for the future, if that's applicable. This is a really business-minded Mercury. It can be a very judgmental Mercury. And for Aries, oh yeah, that Jupiter is moving into your house. I'm going backwards, but Jupiter in Aquarius is also moving into your house of friends. So this is going to be a time of expansion for you also with friends, groups, organizations, as Jupiter is there for the next year. December 20th, when Mercury moves into Capricorn, that is moving into your house of career and attainment, the 10th house. So while Mercury is in Capricorn, you were going to be talking business, dealing with a lot of business. Again, it's a great time to write a business plan and, you know, to focus on your goals regarding money, business, material things for 2021. December 21st, the Sun enters Capricorn. And again, for you, this is all in the house of career and attainment. So it looks like during Capricorn season, that area of your life is going to be highlighted. And December 21st, Jupiter forms a conjunction with Saturn. This is the great conjunction. This is happening in your house of friends and business associates and groups. This is starting a new 20-year chapter and a new 200-year chapter for humanity, a new 20-year chapter in our personal lives. And so this is a very important turning point. It's the end of an era. It's the beginning of a new era. I highly encourage you to get a reading with me so we can talk about what this means for the next 20-year cycle of your life. But I need to wrap this up here. So finally, December 29th is the full moon in Cancer. And this full moon in Cancer is coming at the end of the year. It's illuminating so much for us. I think that it's in Cancer, so it's a great idea to stay home, to stay with family, stay at the home base. That's all Cancer. But the other thing is it's important, you know, to really care for ourselves and nurture ourselves emotionally. But another thing that I want to say is that there's this energy of just this real illumination around the rise of the divine feminine. And I know that this is something that's been emerging, but I just see at this full moon, you know, there's also an element of surprise with this full moon. It's conjunct Uranus, and also, for those of us in Los Angeles, it's conjunct the midheaven, so there's a possibility of a tremor or an earthquake around this time. I don't think it's anything major to worry about, but I think it could possibly happen, or maybe it's a more metaphorical shakeup. It's not always literal. Yeah, there's just a lot of just really cool feminine energy with Venus square Neptune and Venus opposing the North Node and Venus square Vesta, and you know, Lilith is coming into place, trining the sun, sextile the moon, you know, in there with Uranus as well, conjunct Uranus. So I think that there's just this real illumination around the rise of divine feminine energy. What can I say? And that is my overview for Aries for the month of December 2021. If you like this video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a don't like. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please share this with other Aries that you know. Please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. And please leave comments about anything that resonates for you or any questions you have in the comments. And yeah, please have a wonderful December. You made it to this point in the year. What an accomplishment. You are truly a warrior, Aries.